Hello, everybody. I know you guys have had a ton of speakers in the past few days and a ton today, and it's getting late, and just want to give everybody a few minutes to get on and get going. Make sure I did it right. I'm not so good at this. For about the last 5 minutes, I've been trying to figure out how to go to live on my computer. Yep, you can't go live on your computer. I had to get onto my phone. See, the little things that you learn, and anybody can do this, right? Because I made it all the way to Diamond and I didn't know how to do a Facebook Live, right? So, just going to give everyone a few minutes to get on, and while I do, I just want to give a big shout out to all of the different organizations coming together and doing this as a team. This is like my dream. This is something that I have wanted from the beginning. I adore all of the different personalities, different types, different trainings, all of the different organizations coming together and sharing their stories. I think there is so much power in that. For years, we've done like the Silver and Six conference calls and different things, bringing different organizations together and seeing it happen. Do you realize there's like 35,000 people that are in this group? That's like priceless to me. Like my head could pop. It is so exciting to me. So I'm going to give you a couple heads up. First, I cannot read the questions as I'm going. I'm going to really try and pay attention, but I'm not a Facebook Liver, so I'm not good at that. I'm used to teaching in front of a big class, and their little hands go up and I see them. So it's a little bit different. The second one is, I think all of you guys need to give a huge shout out on the event page to Sandy for putting all of this together. She is the one that, it was her brainchild. She threw it up on our Diamond page and said, hey, who wants to do the 12 days of Diamonds? And it just exploded. And it just takes one. It just takes one person, and look how many lives are being changed. So that to me is powerful. And this is going to be a resource that is available hopefully forever and ever and ever and ever, so that you can refer your people, because the power to hearing from all these different personalities, like if you haven't put this together, you may not like your upline. It doesn't matter. There's 50 other diamonds that are willing to speak into your life and share tips and traits and ways, and your people might not like you, but that's okay, because you can now send them to a resource of somebody else that can speak into their life. Because here's the truth. Here's the most important thing that I hope you guys really get this. I really hope that this gets hammered home from all these different speakers, is there is no wrong way to build your team. There isn't. If you're an onliner, you go for it. You do it all online. If you are in person and you like that, you do that. If you're an animal person, you can build it that way. If you don't like people, if you don't like people, you can still build this business, because you don't even have to ever touch a person, be near a person or anything. You can still build it. And to me, that's power. If you're young and you're just getting started, there's people that you can listen to that were young and did it. If you're old and you're 60 and 70 and you're like, I just got introduced, I don't know. There's people that have done it that are old. If you're middle-aged and you feel lonely and all of your kids have left home and you're like, I don't know what to do with my life, you can build it. I'm in a wheelchair, I was able to build it. I'm overweight, I was able to build it. There's teeny tiny gorgeous little Lindsay. Pregnant Lindsay is adorable. Her tiny little belly, I just want to squeeze it, cuddle it. You can do it if you're pregnant. That's the most important part, is that you can. You can. There's not a person out there that has the wrong personality type. What, we got 4 colors, right? All 4 colors. There's diamonds that have done it in those different colors. There's just nothing. There's nothing that is so big, that is so paramount, that is so different about you, that means you can't do it. There's nothing wrong with you. And this is the world according to Shannon. We're going to start that up front. Everything I say is my opinion. This has been my experience. This is my story, and I can only speak from my truth, right? And I want you to know that in my opinion, the only difference between a distributor and a Royal Crown Diamond is how many people they shared with. And the only difference between a Royal Crown Diamond that did it in 20 years and a Royal Crown Diamond that did it in under 2 years, holy smokes, is how fast they shared with. See, I think it takes the same exact number of people. I think it takes the same number of contacts, the same number of chit-chatting, the same number of talking, whether you did it online, whether you did it in person, whether you did one person a month, or whether you did 30 people a day. It takes the same number. The question is, what are you willing to do and how fast are you willing to do it? When do you want to get there? What are you willing to give up? So this is what I did after hearing all of these great speakers. Because, dude, you think I've been listening to them? Yes, I need those tips and those traits and those tools, because then I can also turn around and I might have somebody who's pregnant with 52 kids, right? And I can say, I don't know how to do with 52 kids. I didn't have 52 kids, but I know people that did, and I can share their story with them, right? So that's the key to it. Now, what I did, because I knew you guys had heard so many different things, I went on and I said, okay, what do you guys want to know? What do you want to hear? You heard so much, what do you want? So a whole bunch of questions were given to me, and what I did is I wrote them all down, and my goal is to fly through all of them. And the first thing I was asked is to go ahead and share my story. So I'm going to start there. Now, I know a lot of you guys have already heard it. My name is Shannon Hudson. I am a Diamond with Young Living, and everything on my website, which is shannonhudsonyl.com. So shannonhudsonyl.com. Everything on my website is free to everybody. It doesn't matter whose group anybody in, I share everything. And a real detail on my story, like going long in depth and what I've done for my different issues, is already on my website. It's all compliant. You are welcome to go there, listen to it, share it, copy it, duplicate it. Same thing with when I refer to different classes that we teach and PowerPoints. Those are all available for free on my website. You can turn around, use them, edit them, do whatever you want. You don't have to like put made by Shannon Hudson. Just use it, share it, teach it, right? So it's all there. So if you want more on my story, you can get it there. But we were introduced to Young Living against my will. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with this company. I didn't like the fact that it was an MLM. I don't know if there's any people out there like that. I didn't like it. I didn't like the smell of the oils. I know that's like a sin when you talk to people like, how could you not like the smell? I didn't like it. The first oil I was ever introduced to was oregano, and to this day, it's disgusting. It smells like dirty socks to me. It's just not an oil that I care for. And I was introduced when I was going through all kinds of stuff. We were, seriously, coming into this, I was a 2 liters of Diet Coke a day and a ho-ho eater. Like that, I thought they would balance each other, right? So if you had Diet Coke and a donut, you didn't have as many calories going in. And to me, that was being healthy. That's my mindset where I came in. And I share that because I think a lot of times people prejudge people. And I would not have been a person that you looked at and went, oh, she would be perfect for a health and wellness industry. Like you would have looked at me and thought that. I had all kinds of stuff going on. Some of the stuff we knew about, some we didn't. I had had a stroke. It left me with facial paralysis, strength issues. I have MS. I ended up in a wheelchair. I have chronic lymphocyte leukemia. So I had like this host of stuff going on when my stalker started sharing with me. And I didn't want the crap. I wasn't interested. I didn't want to do some sales thing. I was also dealing with stuff with my mother. My mother had been diagnosed 3 years before this with breast cancer. And they had told her when they found it, it had spread throughout her body. She had hundreds of nodules in her lungs. And even with chemo and radiation, there was just nothing that could be done for her. And so we, my husband and I, and our 4 children, we homeschool, moved back home to take care of my mom. And we chose not to do chemo and radiation, not because we thought there was some magic answer for her, but because if she was going to die either way, we were going to take her home, we were going to love on her, we were going to cuddle her, and she could pass away at home with her family. And this is what was going on in our life when my stalker started sharing with me. And she stalked me hardcore for months and months. She would stop over my house and leave little CDs on the door. And she, every time we got together, she's like, oh, you want to try my oils? And I'm like, no, your oils stink. And I didn't like the smell. I also didn't like the person that she was involved with. I knew her upline, and we were, we're from Michigan. We know all about network marketing. You get a birth certificate, you get signed up in Amway, right? They go hand in hand. So we had done that route, and we had decided that wasn't for us. We didn't need that. And but she just kept stalking me. She just kept saying, Shannon, you gotta try my oils. Oh, Shannon just kept trying my oils. She just loved them. She just had such an amazing experience for herself. She wanted to have the same thing. And she stalked me for months. And I finally got really mean. I finally said, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? You know I don't like your upline. Even if I was going to do these stupid oils, I wouldn't do with you because I don't like your upline, right? So I said things like that. And one day she was over, her daughter was playing with mine. She was a homeschooler as well. And she started talking about the oil. She's like, let's just put these on you. And I'm like, what is wrong in your head? What is going on up here that you would keep pestering me about these things? I don't want your stupid oils. I don't like your stupid oils. And I yelled at her. It had been a bad day, and I just let it all out on her. And she left. She grabbed her daughter and she left the house like any sane person would do. And like any good stalker, 3 days later, she called me up. 3 days later, I was at the gym. My kids were gymnasts, and she called me and she said, Shannon, oh my gosh. And she was just really excited. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're in an occult. That was my decision. Nobody could put up with somebody being that mean and still come back and talk about it. And she said, Shannon, you told me if I could figure out what it could do for you, you would listen. And I'm like, crap. So I said, you know what? You got 90 days, 90 minutes rather. You can come over this afternoon. And once we talk, I never want to hear about your oils again. Never. Not one time, not one snip. When you come around me, you can't even have them on. I mean, it was really mean. And so she came over and she brought backup, the lady I didn't like. She brought her with her, and they came over to the house and they started talking about these oils. And I had my mom and dad there and my husband there. And understand, my husband had decided 3 years before this. He said, honey, you cannot go to anything else, because you go to a purse party and you will come home with a purse kit. You go to a party with, what are the decorations that they do in the home interiors, and you come home with it. And because we had tried all these things. See, I was a toilet bowl cleaner. I cleaned toilets for a living. We cleaned houses, we cleaned doctors' offices. I was a cleaning lady, and I wanted something more. More than anything, I wanted to be able to be that stay-at-home mom who homeschools her 4 babies and dedicated everything to them. Like, I wanted that so bad. In high school on career day, I dressed up pregnant, pushing a baby carriage, right? So this had been my dream, but finances. My husband was a skilled trade pipe fitter, and when all the jobs left Flint, Michigan, there was no job for him. There was nothing to pipe fit. It was gone. And we had tried all these little businesses, little things, because all I needed was $200 to $300 more so that I would be able to stay home. Because as it was, I would pack the kids up and they would take their school stuff and we would go business to business, office to office, and they would sit and do school while I cleaned toilets. And we had gotten to a point where I had just given up the dream that we never were going to have anything more. It was okay. I had an amazing husband. I had great kids, but this was our life. And so the fact that I had my stalker coming over to tell us about any other product, let alone a network marketing company, my husband was like livid. He was very angry about it. And anyways, they came over that day and they started sharing about the company and all these amazing things that, we all know. But I didn't get at the time, and I didn't want to get it. And she came and she had us drink some of the peppermint, and like, oh, this is gross. It's burning my mouth. I can't stand it. I got a headache. And I complained the entire time she was there. And she's sharing and she's talking. And my mom, who's sitting across the table from me, now mind you, this was 3 years after she was told she wasn't going to make it. She had cancer everywhere. She's just not going to make it. And she was still alive. We had made lots of changes. We had gotten rid of chemicals. We had gotten rid of candles. We had all the things that we could think of to keep her cozy and breathing. We had done. But my mom was still dying. She was full-time oxygen, little purple black lips all the time. And she was sitting there listening to my stalker talk and her upline. And I seen in my mom's eyes, I seen a twinkle. For the first time in a long time, my mom had hope. She had been hopeless for a very long time. And we're sitting there, and my mom's getting all eager and excited, and she's got the oxygen, she's breathing, and she's just getting happy. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're buying some stupid oils. That was all I kept thinking is, I cannot believe they conned her into this. She's getting these oils, and she's all taking that peppermint and breathing it, and just love it, and she'd breathe it in, and then she'd be, it smells so good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my head is throbbing. This is so stupid. This is such a waste of money. I worked so hard for every penny that we had. Like, I cannot believe we're buying these stupid oils. But I'll tell you one thing. When somebody you love is sick and dying and they want some stupid oils, you get oils. And that's exactly how we were introduced. And my stalker is there, and she's like, okay, Shannon, I got the lids off the bottles. Let's put these oils on you, because she had been just dying to get the oils on me. And remember, headache, don't like it, don't like the smell, mad about everything, not interested. And so she just kept following me around. And to me, we had already ordered the stuff. We signed up. We got the stuff mom needed. Conversation over. You need to go now. And now I'm mad because now I feel like we've wasted money, right? So she's all like, let's put the oils on you. Let's put the oils on you. Let's put the oils on you. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was in the kitchen. I was already, this is dismissed. I've got meals to cook for the kids. I've got stuff to do. I've got a new client I'm signing up tonight. So I was not in the mood. And she comes into the kitchen and she says, Shannon, come on. Let's just put these oils on you. And the oil she was referring to for me was the raindrop kit. She took that raindrop kit, and against my will, I finally just went like this. I'm like, here, just put it on. And I lifted my hair up in the living room, kitchen rather, and she did everything wrong. So those of you that know the raindrop treatment, this beautiful 45-minute procedure, and you do all these things, this is not what we had going on. No. What we had going on is she took each bottle and she picked it up and she just tipped it. So she touched the top, which you know you're not supposed to do that, right? So she tipped it and then she put it just from the base of my neck down to about my shoulder blades. That's where she could reach. And I complained the entire time. I'm like, oh my gosh, this stuff smells so bad. Oh, I'm going to smell like this. I've got clients I've got to see. What are you doing? You're getting in my hair. I've got places I have to go. Don't get it in my hair. Oh my gosh. What does that taste? Am I tasting oregano? That is disgusting. And I am complaining the entire time. And by now, I have shared my joy with my stalker, and she is slamming the bottles down in between putting them on, right? She's got an attitude. The only person happy in the entire house is my mom. She's just over there giddy, smelling the oils, just having a good old time. And my stalker gets done doing her thing and she leaves the house and I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking and I'm running around and I'm doing stuff and I'm angry and my mom is talking and she's like, oh Shannon, I'm so excited, you know, this is gonna make such a difference, I just love it, and she's all happy and I'm thinking this is so stupid, and I'm in there peeling my potatoes, doing my stuff, and my husband comes in and he helps because due to the stroke I had, I couldn't lift things, I couldn't move like I was supposed to. So anyways, we get done doing all of our stuff in the kitchen and I walk out as quick as I can and I go downstairs and I've got these new clients I've got to sign up and I know I stink and I'm washing this garbage off my neck and I change my clothes and I'm griping and I am crying out to Father God. I am praying. I'm like, Father, just let my mom hold on. Let her get through this stupid, weird, new age, oily thing. Just, you know, just let her hold on. And I am just praying, just on my knees, praying before Father God, doing my stuff. And I come back upstairs and my mom is still sitting there and she's on her oxygen and my husband and my dad are in the living room. They're doing their own thing. My 4 kids are running around. I'm poking the potatoes. The potatoes are done. And there's all this emotion inside me. And all of a sudden I'm sitting there talking to my mom and I realize that my body is different. Like from head to toe. In a matter of 25 minutes, my life was radically and dramatically changed. I had clarity I had not had. I had energy I had not had. In 25 minutes, it was like I had regained years in my life. In 25 minutes. See, I don't think people know we're supposed to feel good. I don't think they know we're supposed to have energy. I don't think people know that. And in a legitimate 25 minutes. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if it was the prayer. I don't know if it was my mom. I don't know if it was her excitement. I don't know if it was oils being put on, drinking oils, or all the water. My gosh, I was a 2-liter Diet Coke a day. And in that meeting, they had me drinking water because they had given me that peppermint. I had the headache, and I must have drank 6 glasses of water while they were there in an hour-and-a-half period. I don't know. I don't know what flipped the switch. But I know that my life was changed. And I do know this, when something good happens to you, you have a moral and ethical obligation to tell other people. And that was my instantaneous, see, I knew that oils didn't fix anything. I knew that nobody ever makes money in network marketing. I knew that. I had been in lots of things from the time I was 18. Come on, I knew that. But I also knew that my life had been changed. I couldn't explain the why. I didn't understand the how. I didn't, to this day, I'm not a chemistry kind of person. Like, I'm not certified in care. I have no initials next to my name but MOM. I'm still Shannon Hudson, homeschool mother of 4, same person I've always been. But my life was changed radically. And I knew that. And the only free time that I had, the only time that I was not cleaning toilets in a business, doing something, the only time was on Thursdays, we had homeschool group. And so I did the ethical thing. Every single Thursday at homeschool group, I would talk to one other mom. And I would say, you got to try these. Oh my gosh. And I had a raindrop kit and an everyday oil kit. didn't know what they did, didn't have any knowledge behind it. Anytime I asked my stalker anything, her answer was, I have no idea. She's like, I don't know what happened to you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything. And so every Thursday I would have a new friend, somebody I knew, and I would say, you need to put all these on. Man, my life was radically and dramatically changed, and you need to tell other people. See, we're supposed to feel good. We're supposed to remember where we left our car. You're right. We're supposed to. We are. We've accepted feeling just tired and no energy, and we can't go out and help anybody else do anything. We've accepted it as the norm. But it isn't normal. It just isn't. And let me just put it this way. Being normal in a profoundly sick society is still sick, right? So I wanted more for that. And I would have my friends put on each of the oils. I would tell them I felt amazing. And I would say, you got to tell other people. People need to know. They don't know. And then I would hand them an application. I would say, here, fill this out. And you know what people would do? They took the pen, they filled out the application, and I would say, here, get an everyday oil kit, and they would check the box, and then say, here, put raindrop kit right here, and they would put that in the essential rewards, and I would say, you paying by credit card or you paying by check? And they would tell me which one, and I would say, fantastic. I would take the application, I would hand them back their piece, and then I would say one more time, you have to tell other people. You just have to. And you know what they did? Same thing I did. They duplicated. And that was how we got started. People always say, what did you do? How did you do it so quick? I simply told one person a week. My first month I did that Thursday, signed up 4 people, got an amazing check. I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I got paid for this. Now I didn't tell my husband. I got that first check. That first check was like, I don't know, $364. And I didn't tell Brian about it. I took that check and I bought new stuff because by then I was addicted. I needed my oils. So I just took the 364 and I got more oils. I got the everyday oil kit and I got the raindrop kit because not only was I using it constantly, but I was sharing it with my friends, right? Because that's what you do. So my second month, I'm a really smart girl. I said, oh, if I signed up 4 people and I got paid $400, I can do the same thing, and that way it keeps me in my oils. I think I also got juice that month because that was my first introduction, right? So I got myself some of that juice. But he didn't know about it. I didn't have to take it out of our groceries or out of our household expenses, but it kept me in my oils. So I went ahead and got another set of kits, and I said, I can do the same thing. I'll just talk to one person, make sure one person a week gets in. It covers my expenses. Life is good. I can do this. And my second check with Young Living was like $1,600. They said, holy smokes. I called my stalker. I said, how is that possible? I signed up 4 people month 1, got $400. 4 people month 2, got $1,600. What the heck? And she said, her usual, I have no idea. So if you're sitting here right now and you don't understand our comp plan, you need to know 2 things. We have upfront money. And that upfront money comes off of our kits, and it comes off of a higher percentage that we get, and just some great things that Young Living does. But then we have long-term stability, which we'll talk about a little bit more. And if you need more details, you can go to shannonhudsonyl.com, which is my website, and watch the video, Show Me the Money. And it really breaks down all of the different incomes. There's also 50 other diamonds that have shared the different way that you can make money in Young Living. So you can look that up. And make sure you look at our income disclosure statement. I know they have it posted on this. It's also posted on my website and on Young Living's website. It explains where the income comes from. But anyways, I did the math really quick. And what happens is that upfront money, when your new people sign up people, you get an additional payout. There's another bonus that comes. And what had happened is those first 4 people I signed up, they did the same thing I did, just as duplicatable, 15 minutes. They gave their oils, they had people put their oils on, they handed them an application, they said, fill this out and tell other people. They did the same thing. So each of them got a check for around $300 to $400 because it covered their kits and their stuff up front. And then I got some bonuses on top of that because my people had enrolled people. It went from that to $1,600. And I really quick did the math. I said, for a living, right now I clean toilets. And I can either clean, and I was making $11,000 a year cleaning toilets. So let's be real here. We lived in Michigan. Income, the poverty level, the finances here is horrible. At $11,000 a year, we were some of the wealthiest people we knew. So that's just to give you a little perspective on what was happening here in my world. So when I did the math on that, I decided really quick, I could clean toilets or I could change lives. And I decided that's it. I'm going to change lives. And we decided to go full month, my second month in Young Living. Now, I don't recommend that to anybody. That is not a good business decision. It's not. But it was a decision that we went ahead and we stepped out in faith and we sold off all of the cleaning contracts that after we got that second check and said, we're going to do this. And I went full time. So it was 4 people the first month, 4 people the second month. My third month, choosing to go full time, I enrolled 5 people. So here now I'm going full time, doing all of these hours, and I hit 5 people. But what we had done, and that was the month we went silver. So we went silver in that third month. But what I did is I called those first 4 people I had enrolled. And I said, oh my gosh, this is what's happened in my life. This is what's going on. Not only do I feel better, but my income has changed. This is what's happening. And oh my gosh, do you want to do it with me? And some of those people said, yes, that sounds like fun. And some of those people went, no, I really don't want to. I said, that's okay. I'm going to have a class on Monday. So we started doing classes really up front. We built class to class. I love to teach. I'm passionate about it. When I see somebody get something, I get all excited and bubbly. That's like one of my buttons. I love that. So it was more time effective instead of trying to answer, because now I had 8 or 10 frontline at this point, and they were all asking questions, and it was easier, more time effective to do it in a big group. So we rented a hotel room, and I said, listen, if we all pitch in $5, we can all get together, I can answer everybody's questions. We'll meet for about an hour and a half. We'll do it every week for the first month, and let's see how it goes. And that started. We went from that third month we went silver, and our first classes, we ended up having 40 to 50 people by the end of the second month, and we just continued the same thing. But I think the key to that, because people always want to know, what did you do? What did you say? How did you say it? I just told you exactly what I did. I really did keep it that simple. Say I didn't know anything. I didn't feel qualified. Like I said, to this day, I don't have any of those certifications. I don't even have a massage table, okay? So understand, we kept it so simple that everybody could do it. There was no learning curve. You didn't have to become, you didn't have to have all this knowledge and think that you had to know it all. You just had to be willing to say, hey, what if? What if this crap worked for you, right? What if I'm right? What if you could just feel more energized? To this day, I tell people, when your everyday oil kit comes in, I want you to open every single lid. I want you to open those bottles, and I want you to put a couple drops on your hand, and I want you to breathe it. And the topical oils, I want you to rub them all over. And if there are other vitality oils, I want you to put a couple drops in water or a couple drops under your tongue. And I want you to do that every day, 3 times a day. Every day, 3 times a day. Every day, 3 times a day. And I have people say, why do you make them do it so often? Here's the thing. We have been inundated with negative thoughts, negative energy, negative toxic, just all over us all the time, right? We need more than one teeny tiny little drop. Here, they have a little drop of peppermint, and we're hoping that people see these amazing things, but what we need, our body needs to be saturated. These need to be something that we use on a continual, consistent basis all the time, because we're always going to be up against, are people always going to be stupid? Yeah, yes, we come across people that are stupid, and we can let that negative get in there and fester, and we can reset, remind, and refocus ourselves instantly. Just like that. The best gift that you can give yourself is keep your oils handy. No matter where I am, oils are always within reach, and I use them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Right? Because it's a journey. It's a journey. We just need to saturate that. And that is what I did. And to this day, I still like to use hard copy applications. And it's hilarious because I know there's Royal Crown Diamonds that never ever even knew we had hardcore applications because they did everything online. And I can't teach you how to do it online. That's not my gifting. Go listen to some of the other phenomenal, amazing diamonds that are out there. But for me, I like the hard copy because I can get in front of a class of people and I can teach to 30 people that are brand new, and I can hand all 30 an application, and I can say, okay, take notes. And I like to put like a sticky note on there, and they can take notes on stuff we talk about. I have them put their name and their phone number on there, and I can walk all 30 people through an enrollment process at one time. When I'm trying to do it on the computer, in my opinion, I've seen them glitch. Sometimes there's no service, or you get through one person and the other people in the room are already going to head home. So those are things that I chose to do. Those are things that made it easier for me to be able to be duplicatable. So I just hand it to people and had them restart it. All right, so what else did I do? So that's my story. That's what we did from silver to gold all the way up. We duplicated it through platinum. What about the struggles? Struggles happen, right? The struggle is real. Stuff happens. You come across stuff. People get on your nerve. Those stupid people we talked about, it happens. It's a part of life. You're going to enroll people you don't like, right? You're going to have people that get enrolled with you that don't like you. Those struggles, those happen. There are days when you just don't want to help anybody. You just don't. You don't want to talk to people. You don't want to be out there. You had somebody say something mean. You had people hurt your feelings. You had somebody saying gossip about you. Those are struggles. Those the things you don't want to do that just give you a knot in your stomach. Like when I said, because I talk to strangers. I'm a chit-chatty kind of person, so I'll chit-chat with anybody. And if I say that you need to talk to a stranger and your stomach gets in a knot, you're like, I could hurl, right? It's a struggle. And what you have to do is you have to decide how bad do you want it? What does this struggle mean? What do I want? What's over it? Because in the end, it's action. Action is what makes you overcome the fear. Action when somebody is saying something hurtful towards you and just going and saying, okay, let's talk. One of my people skill things that I really had to learn getting into this was to learn that when somebody came and started griping to me about somebody else on our team, I would listen to what they're saying, and in the middle of talking I would say, hang on just a second, and I would either go get to that person and bring them into the conversation, or I would three-way with them and I would just bring them right in. So if you call me and you're like, oh, I was at the meeting and so did such and such and it just made me, and you're telling me your sob story about what so-and-so did, I would say, oh my goodness, and I would pause you and I would three-way the other person in, and I would say, I'm on the phone with so-and-so and she said that you guys are having some issues, so here you go, I have you guys together, tell me what's going on. And that's overcoming that stuff. That's not letting stuff fester and become a huge icky boil. It's moving through it. It's saying, let's confront this. It's not going to go away. It isn't. And understanding that some of your people are going to go through those struggles. If you think it's always going to be perfect, you're fooling yourself. There's going to be problems. It's going to happen. And you just have to, when you see that mountain, that thing that you think is just insurmountable, it's never going to be able to be fixed. This relationship is over. I can never work with this person again. And you're feeling that way, you need to just get down on your knees. And you need to get quiet. And even if I'm a Christian, I believe the Word of God from the front page all the way to the end. 7 days of creation. I buy that hook, line, and sinker. That is my belief system. But you don't have to have that same belief system to make this work for you. One of the things that you do when there is something that's just so big and you just can't get beyond it, whether it is people skills, whether it's your own abilities, what you can and can't do. I don't like talking in front of people, or whatever your thing is. You need to get quiet. I like it hands and knees, or like my favorite is outside at my picnic table, my little toes in the grass, and just quiet, meditating. And I ask the question, how can I fix this? What can I do? How can I be used to make this okay? And I do the same thing with my body. I've had a lot of physical struggles and things that I don't know why those are my journeys. Okay. Maybe I ended up with that mess because I was drinking 2 liters of Diet Coke a day. Who knows? Maybe I ended up morbidly obese because food was my soothing. It's what I did. And I didn't know any better. And maybe I've dealt with those. Maybe those are my issues. But you get quiet and you say, okay, how can I fix that? What can I do to make it better? And then shut up. Just sit there and be quiet. Because your mind, your soul, your inner person knows how to fix the problem. It does. We just don't get quiet long enough to listen for the answer. Because those answers are there, and sometimes it's just working on people skills. It's understanding that it's okay to not like each other. I don't know why we think that that's not going to happen. I mean, think about this. Do you ever have arguments with anybody in your family? Or are you perfectly perfect in every way? With your spouse, everything is always rainbows and butterflies and everything's great. No, you're going to have conflict. It is what it is. That's how that happens, because you're working with how many people? If you're looking at being in Young Living forever, we need to understand that. We need to be okay that people are going to make mistakes, and we have to just forgive them and move on. We have to, and sometimes we step out of their lives for a little while. I've had legs in my organization that things just get chaotic and whoopsie, and I let them know, you know what, I'm here. If you need me, I'm here, but I'm not going to be in the drama. I just choose not to be a part of it. And you have to disassociate yourself from the problem, not from your people. See, those people, the team members, this is business. In the end, this is a business, and we have to choose that this is a business. One of my theories, again, the world according to Shannon, I've shared this a lot, so some of you guys have probably heard it before, is that when you really do start building and you sign up a brand new person, I think that we go through stages. I do. I just signed up a brand new person, and I'm just teaching them everything. I'm just speaking into their life, and they're just like a little baby. Oh, they're just a happy little baby, and you do everything for them, and you show them how to do this, and you show them how to do that, and you go with them to their little friends, and you're showing them and answering and showing them and answering, and then they get to about the toddler stage, and like, watch me, watch, I can do it, and they go up, but they want you to be right there, and they want to do this, and like, oh my gosh, did you know that my finger can do this now, and they're so excited, and they want you there, but they don't want you to do it. Back off, let me do it, I can get myself dressed, I can do it, oh no, come with me, and then they get to that grade school time, and they're in grade school, and they're pretty impressed with themselves, and they got some skills, but they want to make sure you're there, and they're looking over their shoulder and seeing that you're there, and they're bringing people to your meetings, but they don't want you to mess with them too much because I'm the cool kid, I can do this on my own. And then they get to the teenagers, and then the teenagers, I hate you, I don't like you, you've never done anything for me, my sponsor sucks, and they whine, and they hate you, and they stomp their feet, and they have a temper tantrum. And most of us, when our people get to that grade school and those teen years, we're like, I don't know why she's being so mean. I've done everything. I've poured all my love into her. I've done this and I've done that. And we get all moody. We're like, why don't they love me? And we have to know. We have to get this. See, when they get to the teen years, it's great because you know what happens after the teen years? In the teen years, they're trying to do it on their own. They want to step off. They want to be their own person. They want to be recognized. They want to be an adult. And what happens after teen years is they become a young adult. And they say, oh, well, you weren't as stupid as I thought. And you helped me more than I was thinking you would have. And then they become an adult and they become an equal. And now that friendship is back again. But most of us, we give up. We have the temper tantrum. We feel like we're not being treated with the respect we need. And we separate because we let our emotions be a part of it. I want you to change that. I want you to think of it from a different perspective when they're going through those years. And sometimes people can go through this in a matter of months. You can go from being their best friend who you love, and this person's amazing, and she's my best person. She's going to be a Royal Crown Diamond, and you have nothing but good things to say about her. And the next thing you know, I don't know why she hates me so much, and you get all angry and mad. But what you need to do when they start going through that is you say, oh, I getcha, I understand, I'm sorry I haven't been able to be the person you need me to do. B, if there's anything you can think of you need me to do, you let me know. I'll be right here. I'll be right here, just like you would with your teens, right? Like they can say some hurtful things, they can. But I know in the end, they're going to come out an adult. And some people, God love them, they stay in those teen years for a really long time, right? You know those teens that are still living in their parents' basements at 26 and 30 and 40 years old, and they haven't gotten out of there because they haven't grown up yet. But one of the easiest things you can do is just say anything. If you think of something you need me to do, and I'd love to have you come to our classes. I'd love to have you at the meets, and you send the individual text, and you're there, but you let them be them. I don't want people to be me. I want people to totally 100% be them. And I want them to be the queen bee in charge of everything in their team. Because quite frankly, how many people can you one-on-one do it all for? Right? You're juggling. And you got 2 balls in the beginning. I can do 2 balls. I can do 3 balls. This is awesome. I can do 4, 5. At what point do you start dropping balls? But see, it's because we never let our people grow up. We never help them develop into the leader that they really, really, really need to be. That's one of the best things you can do is realize that and realize that those struggles, they're going to happen, but you have a choice on what we do with them. All right, so what else did we have on here? Husband and wife teams, right? How do you be a husband and wife team and not kill each other? So I'm going to go here. First of all, Brian hated the idea that I was going to do another MLM. He had watched me get my hopes up and then crashed, and then up, and then crashed, and then up and crashed, and so many different things. I did Usborne books, I did the home interiors, I did, oh my goodness, so many different things, and we had a ton of kits. And it wasn't that he cared that I had spent money on kids. What he cared about was watching my emotional up and down. And so when I first started Young Living, he expected it to be like everything else we had done. And I'm not saying any of those businesses don't work. At this stage in my life, I think it could have been perspective. I think it could have been growth on my part, because there's people that make huge money and have huge organizations in those teams. It just wasn't my calling. And when I got into Young Living, it was my calling, and I chose to do the work to make it happen. So when I first started doing it, like I said, that first month, he had no idea I was telling other people. I was doing it out of a moral obligation. I felt God had really touched my life, that I was a new woman. And because of that, I really felt I had to at least tell people what they did with it. And still, this is my attitude. I'll share with people, and I could care less what they do with it. It is not my job to get somebody to sign up. It's not my job to get them to build a business. It's not my job to make them a silver or any other rank. It is totally on them. My job is to share. So I started sharing, and when I got that second check, my husband knew about that. I flipped out. I'm like, oh my God, it was $1,600, and I'm waving it around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, and I flipped out, because again, $11,000 a year was our income, and that was like, I still remember the feeling that I got when I got that big of a check. It was something that was just unheard of for us. And I showed it to him, and I had been using the oils hardcore for the 8 weeks before this, and he knew I was addicted to him. He knew I loved him, but he had no idea I was actively talking to people every Thursday. I was doing it away from the house. I was having people order their own kit, so no product was shipped there, because I truly didn't have an expectation of building. So once that happened, I started trying to get him to use the oils. I'm like, just let me put a little peppermint on your chest. And then I took the raindrop oils. He had some stuff going on his body, and his little legs were tired. And I took my raindrop oils, and I said, is it okay if I put these on your knees and on your legs? And he's like, yeah, and he's watching the game. And so he's with the remote control, changing channels while I'm kneeling at my husband's feet, oil on his legs. And he's like, just kind of got a little bit of an attitude, because he just doesn't want these being used, right? So I'm doing his legs, and I'm like, how's that feel? And he's like, it stinks. Which, what can I expect, right? That was my attitude too. I'm like, okay, well, just, let me know if it feels a little better, if they feel a little less, tight and tingly. And so anyways, about half an hour later, he walks into the kitchen, and I notice he's walking a little bit more perky. He's not as drug out, because he used to get up on ladders, do all the different stuff that he did. And he said, yeah, I guess they're not as tired as they were. And I'm like, oh, that's a huge victory. I'll take that. But then I got my check company, which was the check for going silver. And when he seen the check, it changed everything for him. All of a sudden, he had hope. See, what people want, they don't want proof that the oils are going to work. They don't want proof that the business can work. They want hope. And we had, as a team, we had lost that hope that life was ever going to be anything than what it was. We believed we were going to always forever rent, and we were going to be broke, and we were never going to have anything. And in that moment, it changed for him. It became a possibility. And 2 months later, we went gold, and then the possibilities started really changing for us, because I think about it, and it's still amazing to me what God has done in our life, because there was nothing special about us. There just wasn't. We grew up in a very poverty-stricken area. Sorry. And I look back, and I see how amazing and blessed we have been. And he got on board with it right away. He's like, oh my gosh, we can do this. And I remember we had been in for about 4 months when we went to Grand Convention. It had just started. We took like 74 people with us to Grand Convention, and it just snowballed from there. It was just an amazing process. And it was interesting. He ended up, he got laid off, because that happened a lot with his field that he was in. And they called him back about 6 months later. So we had been in about a year at that point. And it was so awesome, because he's on the phone and he's talking to his boss. And we were traveling to go do an event for somebody. And he said, listen, I would love to, but you can't afford me. And it was just like this amazing, like a Cinderella story. And we have been partners full time since then. And partners, we mean this is our partnership. I am almost computer illiterate. I am not a computer girl. There's things that I can do now that I didn't used to know how to do, and I've come a really long way. But my husband is a huge computer guy. He's the one that runs our websites and sets things up. And when I say, hey, this is going to be available and there's this video and there's all these things, that's what he does. Everything behind the scenes, he takes care of that. I don't do any of it. I have no desire. And on the other hand, he has no desire to be on stage in front of people. So like at our conferences and stuff, when I call him up for one thing or another, it is a like nauseating, stressful thing for him to get up there. And even just walking across stage at convention and the different awards and stuff that we get, it is always a struggle. The struggle is real for him because it's hard, but it would be like asking me to, I don't even know, write a program or whatever, because that's not my gifting. And so we have learned to let each other do their thing and do it well. So I don't go over everything he does with a fine-tooth comb or why isn't this done or why isn't that done. We have developed, it took us about a year to get a system where we wrote list of things that have to happen. And then once a week, we sit down and we go, who's doing which one? And we divvy it up. You know, I'll do this, you do this, I'll do this. And that is everything in our life, from church stuff to home stuff to office stuff. We just choose to make a list, and then we evaluate things. Like, I have not cleaned toilets since we got into Young Living. I know that sounds horrible, right? But that's what I did. And when we decided to really run for it, so that third month when I decided I wanted to go silver, I sat down with my kids and I said, this is what's up. Because our kids at the time when we got in were 7 to 14, 4 of them. And we said, this is what we're choosing to do. This is why we're choosing to do it. This is what it will mean to us. And this is what you get when I achieve this goal. This is what we're going to do. And you guys can be a part of that. So there was an incentive in it for them. And we divvied up the house. So we had different days that the kids cleaned and they helped with meals and all these different things. And same thing with my husband. We just divided it up because the house still has to run. And then when we achieved the rank of diamond, the gift that my husband graciously gave us was a full-time chef and cleaning person. And that was just like this, suddenly, that's like, to me, it's like, I achieved it. I'm there. That was the gift. And it has been priceless because that way when we are home and we're not building and working and doing, we don't have to do the cooking and the cleaning, but I can when I want to. I love to cook. I've said it before, you don't get to be over 400 pounds and not be addicted to food. So I enjoy that process. So a lot of times we'll have them just do all the prep work for us, and then I can cook what I want, and then they take care of the dishes. And I know that when we're on the road and we're traveling, that my teenagers had real food, and I didn't have to worry about coming home to the 12 pizza boxes because that's what they chose to do instead of make the salad that was in there. So it was just an amazing gift because the lifestyle can be amazing, and I don't think we talk about that as much as we should. I think that we as Young Living, sorry, I have no tissues in here. I don't know why I'm so weepy either, because I have shared my story a lot, but sometimes it's just overwhelming how amazing Father God has been to us. But anyway, there's so much that changes as you grow. There's so much that changes as you develop as a person. There's so much that you can accomplish. Mary Young says, and I love this saying, money in the hands of good people can do amazing things. So it's not just the great things that we have been able to change in our life, our lifestyle, our vehicles, but the number of lives that we've been able to help, the number of people that we've been able to, when I think of Royal Crown Diamond, because I want Royal Crown Diamond really bad, like I want Royal Crown Diamond, but when I think of a Royal Crown Diamond, I think of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lives that they have changed. Not just one single person. So when you enroll somebody, you change their life, but it also changes their significant other. It changes their children, and it changes the next generations. I mean, that's mind-boggling to me. If we don't like the rules and the things that are being done with our government, the way that we change those is by our buying power. It's by the number of people that are in. It's mind-boggling altering when you realize the lifestyle changes that we can bring to this world. See, I see Young Living. I want this here for my children's children's children. And I love that picture. I love that vision. And Brian and I were just a team with it. All right, what are the other quick things? Action steps when you're stuck. Move. When you feel stuck, when you feel like I've been at the same rank, you need to actually physically get out there and start talking to people. People always ask me, what are the biggest income producing activities? It is sponsoring new people. It really is. As a leader, there's something happens when people hit silver. It's sometimes gold, but silver for sure. And gold, they start feeling like they're a puppet master. And instead of continuing to build their team, they start just organizing. They start straightening their office. They start developing these programs. They start all of these different things when the truth is, it is a message that needs to be shared over and over and over and over again. And you should be developing a person, training a person, sharing with that person until they can get out of the nest and you can train other people. And it should be an ongoing, always thing. We teach our team that everybody gets 3 every month. You get 3 new people, you help your people get 3 new people, and you continue to constantly share this message. That's how we change the world, is by the number of people. And if you think we're saturated, if you think there's too many, you have lost your mind. There are millions and millions and millions of people who don't even know. They don't know they're supposed to feel good. They don't know they're supposed to have energy. They don't know. It's our job to tell them. It's our job to say, yes, your tomorrow can be better than your today. That's our job. And if you were sitting there and you're like, okay, I've been in Young Living for 3 years and I've never sponsored somebody, then today can be your first day. You can say, I was listening to this 12 days of diamonds and I knew that I had to get out there. And you call all the people you know, you contact them on Facebook, you email them and you say, I've got to tell you this. I've got to tell you about something I'm doing. I have to tell you I'm so excited. I don't know what it can do for you. I have no clue. I have no clue what it can do for you, but what if? What if? And I share, that is a passion of mine. I do it to strangers on the street. I do it in stores. I do it on planes. Everywhere I am, I figure, what if I'm the only person that comes across their path? What if? What if that person was sitting in their own home and they said, Father God, if you're real, if you're out there, if anybody in the world cares about me, have somebody say hi to me. Because I'm invisible. Nobody knows I exist. See, that doesn't show. We don't know that. And I don't know what role I'm going to play. I know when I'm out there sharing and doing stuff, I truly don't care what role I am. Because sometimes we're a seed planter. Sometimes we are the very first person that ever mentioned anything to that Diet Coke ho-ho eater person. And they had never had a clue. They didn't know. I thought the diet soda that had vitamins. You guys remember when that came out? Diet soda with vitamins? I thought, that is so cool. Who knew, right? Some of us were there. Some of you guys are wheatgrass drinkers, enema getters, and you're like, I don't even understand that. But some of us, we didn't know. I didn't know. And I always figure, what if that person just didn't know? I want to be that person to just smile. I want to be that person to just say hi. I just want to be used. And I know sometimes I just plant a seed. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't matter if they get in. I planted a seed. And then sometimes I'm just pulling weeds. And you heard what? You thought vitamins and diet soda was a good thing? Oh, my friend. And sometimes I just pull the weeds. You heard what about what oil company? And I just pull the weeds. And I go on about my business. And I still count it as somebody I shared with. And sometimes I'm just clipping it back. I'm just trimming it. And sometimes I get to harvest. Sometimes that is the person that is supposed to be on my team. And we just mesh. It's a perfect. And I help them, and I help them grow, and I help them grow up, and I get them out of the nest so I can do it all over again. Right? That's how you're going to get frustration and feeling like a failure, feeling like nobody loves me, everybody hates me. It's because we stop. It's because we're not talking to enough people. You're like, I set up an appointment next Thursday, and you wait till Thursday, and she doesn't show up, and you're like, oh, nobody shows up for my appointments. Listen, you wouldn't notice that if you talked to more people. If you're talking to 10 people a day, 10 people a day, 10 people a day, planting seeds, pulling weeds, clipping, harvesting, planting, clipping, harvesting, planting, you wouldn't notice the people that don't show up. I can tell you 100%, I don't know the people that didn't sign up with me. I don't. I remember the people that partnered with me and started the vision with me. I remember the people who changed lives. I remember the people whose lives were radically and dramatically changed. You don't remember the no's. Just go through them faster. Remember, whether you're going to do Royal Crown Diamond in a little bit of time, like some of these amazing people, or whether you're going to do it in 20 years, it's still amazing. Royal Crown Diamond rocks no matter what. Am I right? How fast do you want to do it? It's just, I'm telling you, it's just a numbers game. That's what it comes down to. And some people can do it online because that's their gifting and they know how. Lindsay just wrote a book. Oh my goodness, it will come to me while I'm thinking. Look up Lindsay Teague Moreno. She just wrote a book on building it online. So see, I'm clueless on that. You can get a hold of her. You can figure out how to do it. Working with the younger generation. Look up 25 to Life with Adam Green, you know, so there's so many different personalities and training tools. You don't get to say, well, I don't know how to do it with those people. See, I don't do it with babies anymore. All of my kids are older. They actually would like me to stop saying I homeschool because only one of them is still homeschooled. The other ones all live on their own now. But in my world, they're still babies. So anyways, those are some of the action steps. Literally means just making a choice to get out there and do it. That means picking up the phone, not straightening your desk. It means calling the people on your list. And don't be weird. Don't call your closest friends and be like, hello, this is Shannon. I would like to have a conversation with you about be you. Call your friend and say, listen, I'm on my way over. I got something I have to show you. And go see your friend. That's what you would do to friends and family, right? That's how we sign up people for our people. We help them sign up 3 people in their first week because I want their product paid for. So if I help them get 3 people with a kit and their essential rewards, they get about $300 back, which covers their original orders. So that's one of the things they can do. You can get more details about that and some of my website, some other quick things. I don't even know what time it is. Struggle getting started. Struggle getting started is just action again. I'm sorry. There's nothing beyond actually physically going out there and talking to people. And that's whether you're going to do events online. That is whether you are going to do one-on-ones. That's whether you can sign people up on the phone, Zoom, so many different ways. Just get out there and do something. It is consistent action. So working super quick and really hard for 3 days and then doing nothing and going, no, it didn't work for me. That doesn't count. Consistent. If you have 4 hours every Thursday, then you work 4 hours every Thursday. You work 2 hours on Tuesday, 1 hour on Wednesday. Go to my website. I've got one on finding the time for diamond. I think it's called Finding the Time for Diamond or I don't know. It's a video on there and it talks about how you literally clear your calendar so you can figure out what are your non-negotiable stuff because most people don't actually make the time for diamond. And then you wonder why you can't get it done, but you were already busy before you got in. So you've got to choose to change your schedule in order to find that time. So you have that going on. What's the last one? Specific plan of action, calendar, make time for diamond. All right, so those are, I'm sure I went way over. I have no idea what time it is. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go on that. If you have some questions, you have things you want to chit-chat about, any of that, just you can do lots of things. You can ask questions right here on this website, on this page. I will monitor it for the next half hour or so and answer questions. You can also, again, my website is shannonhudsonyl.com. So much information that's already on there. If you want to do classes and you don't know how, go pull up my PowerPoints, edit them, put your info on there, get out there and teach them. So, my phone is falling. So I'm going to say goodbye on that. And remember, you can do it. Just go out and do it. Now, how do I turn it off? I don't know how. We're going to be on forever, guys. Uh-oh. I can't end it.